The uptown Charlotte skyline looks a little extra special today, as right in the heart of this city at American Legion Memorial Stadium, we bring you the second edition of the Dogwood Derby. It's USL League One presented by Atlas Chiropractic. Here's your look at the current state of USL League One. The standings brought to you by Piatta Italian Street Food, North Carolina FC with a 5-point cushion atop the table. Meanwhile, Charlotte Independence sliding down after just one win in their last 6 contests. Our player to watch presented by Great Clips is Joel Johnson. The fullback for Charlotte Independence has broken the record today for most Independence career appearances. He's a key player on the right flank that will look to wreak havoc against a young North Carolina back line. Meanwhile, the North Carolina player to watch, brought to you by Great Clips, is Louis Perez. He's fresh off a 1-goal, 1-assist performance against Richmond Kickers at the midweek as part of that 3-2 come-from-behind victory. Had this sensational assist to McLaughlin for the game-winning goal. And then a nice little poacher's finish, a goal Gary Lineker would be proud of to help North Carolina FC get back in that contest. Just a terrific, opportunistic finish. Just about set for the Dogwood Derby presented by Atlas Chiropractic. Lineups and kickoff for Charlotte Independence and North Carolina FC when we return on ESPN+. We've got a good one in store from Uptown Charlotte.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high-quality, affordable healthcare, relationships matter. And after 90 years, we're proud of the relationships we've built with you, North Carolina. We're collaborating with leaders like Vici, supporting her efforts to help schools address the mental health needs of students, and foster care moms like Gail, working with her to ensure our state's most vulnerable children are thriving, and caregivers like Maya, partnering with her to improve maternal health. From lowering costs to building healthier communities, we are committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is not your typical health insurer. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family working hard to make healthcare affordable, easier to navigate, and accessible for all. North Carolina is our home. We're here for you, all of you.
The two sides entering the pitch here at American Legion Memorial Stadium for the Dogwood Derby. It's the second meeting of the year between Charlotte Independence and North Carolina FC. Let's take a look at what happened the first time these two teams met. It was a 1-1 draw. Olex Anderson opened the scoring after this rebound from Cervania's shot in the 32nd minute at Wake Med to give North Carolina FC the lead. It was a match in which NCFC controlled the bulk of, according to head coach John Bradford, but Dane Kelly with a moment of brilliance for his second goal of the year, the USL Championship's all-time leading goal scorer, putting Charlotte level and allowing them to steal a point on the road in Week 4. Here's your look at the starting lineups presented by Adidas. A couple changes for Charlotte Independence. The man who scored against NCFC a few weeks back, Dane Kelly, returns after not featuring against Lexington. Also changing formation, Mike Jeffries is, from his classic 4-4-2 to a 4-2-3-1. Miguel Ibarra operating as that number 10 between the lines. Had 5 chances created a week ago against Lexington. Meanwhile, the starting lineup for North Carolina FC, also a formation change into a 4-4-2. Anderson still up top, but no Rafa Mensigan. Instead, Garrett McLaughlin slots in up there. Louis Perez and Jaden Cervania on the flanks, and a dual 6 approach. Olex Anderson, 3 goals and 3 assists, is the headliner in the lineup. He's fresh off a goal on Wednesday against Richmond Kickers. Just about set to begin the action here at American Legion Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Let's take a look at the keys to the match presented by Resident Culture. For Charlotte Independence, it's about bossing the early minutes. Coach Mike Jeffries emphasized the need to avoid the early pressure from NCFC. Meanwhile, for North Carolina, it's about avoiding soft goals. That was a huge point of emphasis from John Bradford after NCFC conceded twice in each of their last couple matches. NCFC gets us underway here from Charlotte, and Cervania immediately brought down on the far side. NCFC 19 points, 5 points clear atop the table after that 3-2 victory over Richmond Kickers on Wednesday. Meanwhile, for Charlotte, they're winless in their last 3. Fell to Lexington 1-0 last weekend. First set piece of the afternoon for the visitors. It'll be Perez to take. Cross to the near post. Cleared only as far as Young. Coming into the week, Mike Jeffries emphasized that this NCFC team was going to come out aggressive. It's about playing through their pressure and perhaps getting them to call off the dogs early. They do not want to fall into a trap where they're constantly trying to play out of their own half. Here's Ibarra, the star from last week against Lexington. It was a match where Mike Jeffries said he felt they weren't great for the bulk of the first half, came along towards the end of that first half and said he felt like the goal was going to come at the start of the second. They had a bright spot in those opening 15 minutes, but he said their window closed and then Balogun caught them out in the 74th. He said it was just frustrating. Anytime the match ends where you have a penalty kick saved at the death, it's not going to be an ideal run of play. For North Carolina, they fell to Forward Madison 2-0 in a surprising result last Saturday, but a great bounce back at the midweek. Here is your look at the injury report presented by Novant Health. 1 man out for Charlotte. Luke Kroll and Daniel Navarro, a regular center back for NCFC, are absent today. Here's Anderson. The top attacking threat for NCFC loses it out of play. Today's match presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness, the official chiropractic provider of the Charlotte Independence. Atlas doctors have the latest science-based technology to maximize your potential to heal. Head to atlaschiro.nc.com to learn more. It is a Charlotte team still getting back to full strength. Played 5 matches in the span of 19 days earlier this year. Anderson runs down the touchline and tapped out for NCFC's first corner of the afternoon. Olex Anderson, a former Seattle Sounders feature, was with the club the year they won the MLS Cup.
This is a Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Perez taken short. McLaughlin shrugged off it by Johnson. Johnson deployed in a more attack-minded role today with the formation change. Fabrice Ngaha slides into right back. He and Clay Dimmick, the fullbacks this afternoon. Aquafina is the official water of the Charlotte Independents. When the game heats up, cool down with Aquafina. Just beautiful weather in uptown Charlotte today. An Independent side returning home for the first time since May 3rd. That was a 3-1 defeat to Greenville Triumph. The only time Charlotte has conceded multiple goals in a match came in that contest. Dane Kelly, the lone goal scorer, late after the game was out of reach. Here's Perez. Switches the play for Anderson. And Ngaha first to it. It's a North Carolina team that boasts the top attack in USL League One. It's night and day compared to the last 2 years to begin John Bradford's tenure. It was a side that finished last each of Bradford's first 2 seasons at the helm. This season, he feels he has a great blend of youth and experience, one which is far more seamless than past campaigns. And it has been reflected in the results thus far. Just 2 defeats all year in 9 matches. Here's Mikey Maldonado for North Carolina. And Perez off and running. He's been involved early. Looking for Anderson. And it's just behind his boot. Now for Christian Lou Young, the right back today. A very possession-based North Carolina side, fitting their desired tactical script so far. McLaughlin gets his head to it. The follow-up from Arriaga and forced wide. Now whipped back in for Anderson. And Austin Pack passes his first test of the afternoon.
Season ticket deposits are on sale now for $50 for a limited time only. The first day.
Austin Pack, the man who leads the USL League One in saves, comes to the rescue once more for Charlotte. A guy who almost single-handedly kept the Independents in that match at Lexington.
Online now at superleaguecarolina.com.
And he is so tough to beat. Proved very frustrating for North Carolina in the matchup at Wake Med last month. Here's David Garcia. And you just see how far up these center backs are getting for North Carolina. Ball handling center backs, very comfortable in possession. And they force Charlotte back here early. Here's Cervania. We mentioned Austin Pack's pedigree. No worse for wear after a sensational week last week. That ball behind Anderson recovers well, and a good kick stop from the 29-year-old former Hartford Athletic man. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest sales, products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Well, I'm sure this match has gone more according to plan for John Bradford so far. But we saw how last time around these two sides played a game largely dominated by North Carolina, and it wound up being two teams sharing the spoils. As Cervania clattered down after that aggressive challenge with Ngaha. Just took that shoulder to the chest and may have taken a shot to the gut in the process.
Chicken sandwich original to me is that punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles.
Cervania, the former Birmingham Legion man,
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes Chick-fil-A chicken
still
sandwich original
waiting for
to
some
me
goal
is
production.
every single time you take a bite, you
Just
know you
21
get
years of
chicken
age,
that's
part of
crispy.
this youth to pro movement that serves as the foundation for this NCFC club. Ibarra. Kelly looks between the lines for Flanagan. And Perez unable to play out of danger. First 10 minutes, you saw moments where the press proved a little overwhelming for Shalom Duty and Nick Spielman and company. The Independents beginning to carve out a little more space in possession now. Key for them is threatening Nick Holliday's goal. 8 goals in the first 9 matches for Charlotte. The final third has been an area of weakness for the home side this season.
Development and compensation benchmarking. But what really sets Paycor apart is their focus.
Here's the Cameroonian Ngaha. Taps it through for Avion Flanagan, and the touch a bit heavy, nearly making NCFC pay for the high line. Come show your support for military members, past and present, at our Military Appreciation Night, presented by AccuVision LASIK on Saturday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Tickets start as low as $12 and are available at charlotteindependence.com. Good turnout here this afternoon. Speaking to both coaches, they expected it to be about 50-50, maybe 60-40 for Charlotte. And you see the Charlotte flags, first 100 fans got those. We're hearing word that there's a sensational North Carolina contingent down from Cary. Just a 2-hour drive between the cities. Charlotte, a burgeoning soccer city. The Independents have been around since 2015. Charlotte FC, of course, starting up as well a couple years ago. An eventful match there last night at the Bank. Some penalty controversy in that contest with Nashville. Meanwhile, of course, in Raleigh, that's Cary, so to speak. That's the capital of college soccer to some degree. College Cup being played there every year for the last couple decades. Beautiful facility up at WakeMed Sports Park. Perez launches long for Anderson once more, and a miscue between the two. An early blitz from North Carolina has slowed for the time being. Grab some new gear for the next Independence game. With scarves, hats, shirts, and more, we have merch for every Independence fan. Head over to store.charlotteindependence.com to find your next piece of Jack's gear. A lot of fans decked out in the home kit for this season. Cervania venturing forward, and that's tapped out of play for a corner. Second corner so far, and it's a Chick-fil-A corner kick for Perez and company. Charlotte still awaiting their first set piece of the night.
This is a Chick-fil-A.
Flag rises on the far side. Perez just behind that last defender. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. It was an eventful night on the ESPN Plus platforms last night in USL League One. We'll touch on that more as we get closer to halftime. Couple of 5+ goal thrillers. So far, this doesn't seem to have the making of that game script, but you never know when it comes to the Dogwood Derby. Pepsi Cola is the official soft drink of the Charlotte Independents. Enjoy an ice cold Pepsi while watching the Jacks. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas. Looking for Flanagan, and Sis picks up the loose change. Now Dimmick venturing forward, the captain. Haven't seen these fullbacks get too involved yet for Charlotte. One of their few extended spells of possession thus far. Under coach Mike Jeffries, this side got off to such a fast start. Went unbeaten in their first 7 matches, were 1 game shy of tying the League One record for most games unbeaten to start a season. That was Omaha a couple years ago. But they've dropped their last 2 contests, just 1 goal in their last 180 minutes of action. Their only point the last 3 games is a scoreless draw with Madison in late April. It's a side predicated on their defense, but Mike Jeffries has emphasized the need to be a little more ruthless in possession. Maldonado under fire from Sis. And Anderson draws the whistle on the far side. May have taken a boot to the Achilles there. CNC trying to play out of the press, and Anderson got trod upon by Clay Dimmick. You wonder how this North Carolina side fares with Rafa Mensigan on the bench today. The USL League One's top goal scorer. 5 goals in the month of April, the first ever midfielder in USL League One to do that in league history. But John Bradford said the last couple matches against Madison and Richmond, he felt he wasn't fully up to scratch. Not poor by any stretch, perhaps giving him a bit of a breather. An interesting time for it, though. This is North Carolina's last match before a road trip on June 3rd to Knoxville. That looks like it may be a 1 versus 2 matchup if the standings hold.
Once again, fans, it's time to enter our Pedal Pub seat upgrade. Scan the QR code on the video board and enter in your information for a chance.
Flanagan with the flick on for Dimmick. Now between the lines for Dane Kelly. Flag stays down, first time hit, and he misses the target. There was no flag raised, and Dane Kelly may have taken that a bit soon. A rare miscue from the USL Championship's all-time leading scorer. Knew he had the goalkeeper off his line, just unable to chip that one in the far corner. First glaring opportunity of the day for Charlotte.
Stick around after the game for the special presentation and a chance to snag your first Super League
20 minutes gone, and the independents beginning to grow into this match a bit more. Flanagan draws the whistle. Bring the whole group out to the next Jacks game. Watch some good soccer, grab some cold drinks, and take in a match with a view of Uptown Charlotte. Email tickets at queencitysc.com or call 980-392-9170 to schedule your next group outing.
Jacks fans, please help us welcome.
It is a terrific venue at American Legion Memorial Stadium, one which hosts multiple sports. The Independents, of course, the prominent feature. But earlier this month, the site of the ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship as well, and the PLL also comes by regularly in the summers. A terrific multi-sport venue right on the fringes of Uptown Charlotte.
Better food, fast. Piata Italian Street Food.
North Carolina looking to seesaw the momentum back in their favor. Perez finds Young on the overlap, and that goes out for a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Third corner kick of the afternoon for North Carolina FC. Charlotte, 21 minutes in, still with no set pieces.
This is a Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Perez to take the in-swinger. Cleared, and a whistle on the contact in the penalty area. Looked like Shalom Duty took the brunt of that contact. Ball whipped in, Duty dueling for it. And he may have actually been trod upon by his own teammate. Dane Kelly actually the man down. If you're looking for a little Greek, a little Southern, and always fresh, enjoy a great meal at your local Showmars. Just over 20 minutes gone here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. A match where chances haven't necessarily been at a premium, but this match not open by any stretch of the imagination either. NCFC had the bulk of the half chances early on. Charlotte has grown into the match and played out of the press a little better these last 10 minutes or so. The biggest chance, probably either way, was Dane Kelly's one-on-one with the 17-year-old Nick Holliday. Try to chip from 30 yards with Holliday off his line and missed the target. And Bouillou back for Sis. Chips over the top for Kelly, and this time Holliday wins the foot race. Flag comes up anyways. And Bouillou growing into the match, plays this back for Sis, who's got great passing range, and Kelly timed his run a bit early there. The focal point in this 4-2-3-1 for Charlotte. Arriaga, the 22-year-old. Has Maldonado in space and a good recovery by Joel Johnson. Setting the record today for all-time Charlotte Independence appearances is the former Hartford Athletic man. Was a prominent feature in Charlotte's championship days before transferring to Hartford a couple years ago. And it is an interesting storyline. Both these teams, former championship sides, were rivals up in the American second tier. North Carolina dropped down prior to 2021 to League One. Meanwhile, the Independents had their first campaign in the third division of American soccer last season. Make your own schedule with our new Flex Plan ticket package. You can get tickets at a lower rate for the matches that fit your schedule just by emailing tickets@queencitysc.com or calling our ticket office at 980-392-9170.
Fans, the USLW League is back.
Flanagan first time pass.
Our Charlotte Independence women's pre-professional
Right over to
team
Arriaga.
kicks off their 2023 season against in-state rival
And Nelson Flores Blanco
Stay seated and enjoy
linking with
full
McLaughlin.
evening of independent soccer. First kick is at 5 p.m.
A very fluid lineup, it seems, for North Carolina. You're seeing the forwards both very mobile. McLaughlin more of a target man, but also seeing him come wide to claim. And Cervania's roamed all over the shop. Flores Blanco tries the 1-2 with Anderson. Cleared only as far as Garcia. Young skipping down the near side, going to work in on Ngaha. And a fourth corner for NCFC, another Chick-fil-A corner kick.
This is a Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Perez now has taken 4 of 4. One assist to his name came Wednesday night against Richmond Kickers. And that cross has a little too much mustard on it. When you look at the trajectory of these two clubs, this North Carolina FC squad enjoying their best season since moving down to USL League One. And their fans out in full force this afternoon, making the 2-hour drive from Cary to see their league-leading NCFC squad take on their heated rivals here down in Charlotte. And they've done it with their goal scoring. 19 goals. They've scored multiple goals in 5 of the last 6 contests. Really tough to stop with threats all over the pitch. Here's one of those in Anderson. Has space and wins another Chick-fil-A corner kick. And Austin Pack potentially feeling something in his calf.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable.
Here's another look at this. Good break. They find Anderson in space. Maybe a beat late on his cross. Pack crashed into by his own defender. Comes off a little shaky.
Address the mental health needs of students and foster care moms like Gail, working with her.
Short corner.
That was a Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Perez looks for Fernandez. And Mbuyu covers the far side well. Tresor Mbuyu trying to do it all himself, has a man ahead, and switches the play for Kelly. Charlotte just looking for more support on the break. There have been good recoveries in transition, as that long effort doesn't really trouble the 17-year-old Nick Halliday between the sticks. Not every day you see Shalom Duty get this far forward. Has space, takes a hit, and may have knuckled a bit more than he intended. Cervania. For Young on the overlap. Oleg Sanderson forced to the byline. And Johnson taps out for another Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Fans, we are at the 30-minute mark. If you are participating in
30 minutes gone. Oleg Sanderson has had a couple half chances. This is solid defending from Duty to force him wide.
Those that are participating in our halftime games, please go to the Gatorade Tower.
Joel Johnson, the no-nonsense clearance. Near post cross. Pack gets a glove to it. It's an unconvincing clearance, but one that finds Ibarra nonetheless. Just see the Independents struggling a bit to play between the lines. A couple heavy touches, overhit passes have been the difference between a lightning quick counter and a harmless break.
Easily schedule same-day and virtual appointments online. Novant Health, making healthcare remarkable.
Blanco Flores drills into McLaughlin and headed directly at Pack. It was a free header for the man who scored the game winner on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Mbuyu unable to find Ibarra on the through ball. Biggest opportunity of the match so far for the 22-year-old, a man who scored 14 goals a season ago for North Carolina. Ngaha, the left back. And Charlotte settles. Talking to Mike Jeffries ahead of this match, when asking him about the spotty production going forward, he said, still looking to get the likes of Corey Bennett and Tresor Mbuyu on track. Mbuyu, a guy who had 11 goals a season ago. Said he just needs to see one fly into the back of the net. He's immensely talented, incredibly versatile. Right now playing in a more creative midfield role. And Gaha forced into the corner and concedes a throw. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
That's located to the left of the video board. Thank you.
That should be a terrific match on national television. USL gaining more and more national exposure as soccer continues to grow in the States. Throw for Charlotte. They've had one major opportunity. Other than that, haven't really troubled Nick Holliday. And this slightly new look North Carolina back four. Flanagan has room to roam. For Sis. Omar Sis. Cleared only as far as Ibarra. And now Dane Kelly. Trickles through for Sis! And it finds the back of the net, but the flag is raised. No, it is not. It stays down. And the goal is officially waved off. It was announced as a goal in the stadium. Omar Sis nearly had another against North Carolina. He was offside. Clinical finish nonetheless. And down the other way, Joel Johnson is the first man to enter the book. So an eventful few moments in a half that had become increasingly cagey. Johnson drags down Cervania. Professional foul to stop the break after Charlotte was still recovering from that disallowed goal moments ago. And NCFC able to settle things down once more. North Carolina has been the more dominant of the two sides on a possession front, but chances have been split relatively evenly. You've seen the press come and go in waves. North Carolina clearly not looking to over-concentrate their energy so far. Fans, this week it was announced the new Division I Women's Super League, Professional Soccer League, the USL Super League, is coming to the Carolinas. Take part in helping us launch our team by visiting superleague.carolinas.com. Another Chick-fil-A corner kick for Louis Perez. The first 5 have not really troubled Austin Pack in goal.
Corner kick.
But these in-swingers can always get dangerous. Delivery to the back post is over the head of Garcia. And Flanagan draws the whistle on the far side. If you are just joining us, couple one-on-ones both ways. And moments ago, Omar Sis, a goal disallowed, was announced in the stadium as a goal, but the flag did come up. Still no score between these two North Carolina rivals. Mbuyu. Keep in mind, it is a Charlotte team still getting some of its key attacking pieces back. Gabriel Oberton has now missed the last 4 matches. He's currently on the substitutes bench. A very experienced player who's best known for his days at Man United and Newcastle in the 2010s. So the goal-scoring struggles, to some degree, may be a little overly pronounced, although Mike Jeffries has emphasized the importance of being better in the final third. He's been very pleased with their defense, which has conceded less than a goal per contest. And here today, have been pretty solid at the back. Very few lapses here in the opening 45 minutes. Here's Flanagan for Ibarra, and now the ball down the line for Kelly. Flag stays down, looks for Mbuyu, and the pass just beyond his reach. Great interplay. Ibarra pulling the string, something we haven't seen much of this half. And a decent ball from Kelly. But Mbuyu was expecting it to go closer to the near post, it seemed. Early on, it looked like North Carolina FC had all the momentum. These last 10 to 15 minutes, you've seen the counter wreak havoc for Charlotte. It sets the stage very interesting for the final 5 minutes of this first half. Oleg Sanderson now has room for Cervania. Outside the reach of both red shirts.
Ajax fans, our annual Military Appreciation Night presented by AccuVision LASIK is coming up on Saturday, May 27th.
If you're traveling to Charlotte to see an Independence game, make sure you stay at the Hyatt Place downtown. The Hyatt Place is just minutes away from the stadium and is around countless dining options. Hyatt Place downtown, the official hotel of the Charlotte Independence. A lot of fans making the journey to American Legion Memorial Stadium here today. We've seen a good contingent of NCFC supporters down the far side in the far corner. Sea of blue, a lot of those Charlotte Independence flags as well. Lively atmosphere. Here's Anderson. He's been the most assertive of the NCFC players today. And wins a throw for the visitors. Liu Young comes out to Cervania. Decent hit. Just didn't dip in time. Great switch of the play there from Mikey Maldonado, who's been a stalwart in that 6 role. And off the follow-up, Cervania tried to curl it, got underneath it just a tad much. It is important to note, Rafa Mensigan is available today. He's on the bench for the first time this season. It's always a luxury when you can bring off the league's leading goal scorer when the match opens up. He'll be fresh for the second half, and I have no doubt we'll see him at some point. Arriaga. For McLaughlin. Cleared only as far as Maldonado, who's been an enforcer all season, has played every minute for NCFC in the heart of midfield. McLaughlin for Blanco Flores. And right now it's just that final ball that has eluded the boys in red so far. Another good delivery for Liu Young. Just to the roof of the net. It's building for NCFC. The momentum has seesawed once more as we take another look at the AccuVision LASIK instant replay. Christian Liu Young. Free header, but couldn't quite keep it down. But after a couple transition breaks for the Independents, NCFC reasserts themselves on the stroke of halftime. The Jacks will close out our 3-game homestand on Saturday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. for Men's Health Night presented by Novant Health. Get your tickets starting at just $12 at charlotteindependence.com. Looking for Dimmick on the long ball and Holiday claims. Nick Holiday, just 17 years of age, a player who has locked down the starting role between the sticks for North Carolina this season. When talking to John Bradford about him, he said, "It's been a game of measurement with him. We've incrementally tested him each season, and this year he's proven himself as our best option." He says he's still got a bit to learn, but somebody who has more than done himself justice, as there's just a minute of added time here for the end of the first half. It's first half stoppage time presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness. Spielman launches long. Perhaps one final opportunity for the Independents here in the opening 45. Navarra loses out. And the whistle sounds for halftime. 45 minutes gone. Still no score in the Dogwood Derby. An intriguing one, but at the break, presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness, there is still no score. We're going to step aside for halftime here on ESPN+. No score here at American Legion Memorial Stadium, but a couple half chances both ways as both sides look for major 3 points in the battle atop the table. We'll take a quick break. It's halftime, brought to you by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Stand up, Independence fans. Take a break from squinting to see that tiny soccer ball bounce around that big field. Now take off your glasses, rub your eyes, put some eye drops on your contact lenses, or let my friends at AccuVision LASIK help you get that 20/20 vision you need to see the match in high def. Mention Independence and get $1,000 off LASIK. Go get the details right now at AccuVisionLASIK.com. That's AccuVisionLASIK.com.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Welcome to halftime, presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness, the official chiropractic provider of the Charlotte Independents. Atlas doctors have the latest science-based technology to maximize your potential to heal. Head to atlaschiro.nc.com to learn more. Here's your look at around USL League One for the weekend. Starting with Greenville against Knoxville. Greenville got off to a fast start through Leonardo Castro. The nice cutback and finish to put Greenville on the board in the 8th minute, but Knoxville would come from behind and take all 3 points. It started with a 20th minute header from Claudio off of a free kick. Great delivery there from Derek Waldeck. And then in the 49th minute off a corner, Sebastian Andreasen breaking the deadlock for Knoxville. That's a Knoxville team that's now second in USL League One. Really impressive stuff from the first-year side. Then taking a look at Richmond against Lexington. The Kickers with another 3 points. It started in the 60th minute. Carlton Belmar, after the nice interplay, picks that one up on the edge of the area and dances down the line. Belmar finishing it off and giving Richmond the initial lead. And the goals didn't stop there for the Kickers. Just 16 minutes later, João Silva continuing the rampage for Richmond at City Stadium. Hits that one first time. Beautiful placement beyond the reigning player of the week, Amal Knight. Lexington made a push though, winning a late penalty just moments before the final whistle. No question there. Don Smart, who missed last game, the no doubt penalty taker, slotting it home. But it unfortunately wasn't enough for the visitors as Richmond Kickers moved up to third in the table last night. Then a 6-goal thriller, the highest scoring match in League One in Chattanooga. It began with Walter Varela with Chattanooga trailing 1-0. Not for long, Siobhan Marsh tapping it over the line in the 50th. But from there, Alex Steinwasser, the substitute, one of his first touches of the game, a rocket into the right corner of the net. I'm sure he'll remember that one for quite a while. Ropapa Mensah wasn't done though. Rose like a salmon at the back stick, leveled the scoreline, and it looked like Chattanooga had stolen a point, but immediately thereafter, the Joe-to-Joe connection. Brito to Gallardo, and Omaha, a minute and 25 seconds later, takes the lead. It seemed like they were on their way to 3 points, but Ernesto Espinosa in second half stoppage time. Beautiful delivery. Alex Tejera, the substitute. What a time for his first goal of the year, and they weren't done there. Final kick of the game, Varela brought down in the box by Junior Palacios. Referee points to the spot, and the reigning Gold Glove winner Rashid Nuhu to the rescue to preserve a point for Omaha in one of the fieriest matches of the season. And then the late cap, Central Valley Fuego against the defending champs Tormenta, and they got off to a quick start. Ronald Alexis from Ozzy Ramos just maneuvering through two defenders, slotting it home against the defending champs. Central Valley up and flying, but it didn't take long for Bosua and company to respond. Good delivery from Nicolas Akoto in the 38th, and a great header from Bosua to take it level at the break. Shortly after, though, a penalty won by Fuego, and Antonio Arce stepped up, slotted it home, and gave Fuego the lead, which only lasted 2 minutes after Tobias Otenio tied the scoreline at 2 in the 55th. It looked like Tormenta was going to avoid a shock defeat on the road. But then at the death, Zaire Vasquez receiving the long ball, first time hit, bottom left corner, and Central Valley Fuego stealing all 3 points. There's your look around USL League One for the weekend. We'll step aside when we return. Halftime stats and analysis from the Dogwood Derby.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Some news and notes around USL League One. A new partnership with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. USL is driven to supporting mental health. Visit uslsoccer.com/need-support. Also, a new announcement in the women's game. The USL Super League due to kick off in August 2024. A lot of women's clubs throughout the USL will be competing in that. Go to uslsuperleague.com for more info. And of course, the player of the week, Amal Knight, after making a late penalty stop and a career-high 6 saves in a Lexington kit, named to that team of the week you see on your screen. The lone player in this match featured Miguel Ibarra, created 5 chances for Charlotte last weekend against Lexington. Here's your look around League One for this weekend. You saw the highlights earlier. Of course, the one that pops, the highest scoring match in USL League One this season. Chattanooga, a 3-3 draw with Omaha. Could have been 4-3 had they slotted home that late penalty. The only other big surprise, Central Valley Fuego, their second win of the year over the defending champs Tormenta. Massive 3-2 victory. Coming up this week in USL League One, we've got some great matches in store. You see Charlotte, another home match on Saturday against Chattanooga. Two sides looking to get back in the win column. Union Omaha featuring twice. And Lexington returns home to face one Knoxville in the clash of 2 expansion clubs. It's a Knoxville team that is flying high right now. There's your look around USL League One. We're going to step aside once more. The halftime show here on ESPN Plus returns after this short break.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, we're proud of the relationships we've built with you, North Carolina. We're collaborating with leaders like Vici, supporting her efforts to help schools address the mental health needs of students, and foster care moms like Gail, working with her to ensure our state's most vulnerable children are thriving, and caregivers like Maya, partnering with her to improve maternal health. From lowering costs to building healthier communities, we are committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is not your typical health insurer. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family working hard to make healthcare affordable, easier to navigate, and accessible for all. North Carolina is our home. We're here for you, all of you.
halftime, presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness. Still no score between Charlotte Independence and North Carolina FC. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that first half. Also presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness. In the 28th minute, North Carolina with the first major opportunity of the contest. Olex Anderson roaming down the left. That goes out for a corner. And the very next minute, Charlotte with their first big chance. Shalom Duty venturing forward, trying the long ranger. It knuckled a bit much. Wasn't hit poorly by any stretch. A couple minutes later, North Carolina firing right back. This was a back and forth affair, not necessarily end to end, but both teams with chances. A enticing cross, diving header from McLaughlin is stopped by Pack. So you take another look at it. North Carolina switched the play really well through their fullbacks. You see Flores Blanco have some space, well hit left foot cross, and McLaughlin just can't quite evade the best goalkeeper in the USL League One at the moment. Then Charlotte, nice little half chance. Dane Kelly popped right back out to Ngaha, and then Omar Sis put it in the back of the net, but was ruled offside by the fourth official. That was probably the biggest moment for Charlotte. Well, they came up with a couple other half chances. Kelly linking with Avion Flanagan, and a nice ball through. This cross was due for Mbuyu, and it just evaded him. Perhaps a miscommunication between near post and far post. Later on in the half, the final moment here, a hit from the edge of the area by Cervania, just popped over the crossbar, unable to really trouble Pack it between the sticks. Here's your look at the first half stats. Unsurprisingly, North Carolina FC, the bulk of possession. They put the only 2 shots on target of the match, but Charlotte Independence with 5 shots of their own. A pretty clean match in terms of yellow cards. Just 1 caution issued to Shalom Duty here in that first half. Otherwise, a little back and forth. North Carolina probably the bulk of the quality chances, but Charlotte a few glaring opportunities. Those are your halftime stats presented by Chick-fil-A. Back here as Brad Dunwell enters the action for Charlotte Independence. Was a regular starter, the definition of a roving number 6. Enters the action here for the final 45 minutes as the Independents look for a little more consistent sources of possession. A guy like Dunwell, who's a tackle specialist, covers ground well, could fit the bill. It was for Avion Flanagan, who is playing that holding midfield role, but is more of a fullback by trade. So there's your change. We'll see if the shape has any alterations. Was a 4-2-3-1 for Charlotte. Looking for Kelly early, and no issues for Nick Holiday. We talked about Holiday a little bit before the half. This is an immensely talented goalkeeper, signed his first professional contract at just 15 years of age. A homegrown product of the North Carolina FC Academy. He's also made some appearances with the U17 men's national team. Unbelievably impressive with him playing with guys who in some cases are even double his age. Perez looks down the line, and here's Lou Young. That first half, North Carolina bossed the lion's share of possession, did well to shut down the Charlotte transitions. No soft goals conceded, and that was the big message from head coach John Bradford entering today. A North Carolina team that conceded 2 soft goals in the first half Wednesday against Richmond. He felt like they were playing well and ultimately got 3 points due to a 3-goal and 14-minute outburst in the second half. But he wants to see his defense shore things up a little better. Safe to say they did so with a couple exceptions in that opening 45. Meanwhile, for Charlotte, that first half probably fit the bill for their season thus far. Really good in defense, weathered the pressure well, but not a lot going forward. McLaughlin picks up the loose change. Now for Anderson, and he opens the scoring for North Carolina. Olex Anderson's 4th of the year, and the visitors up and running in the Dogwood Derby. Just as we were talking about Charlotte's defensive solidity, a costly giveaway from Dunwell, the substitute. Arriaga picks his pocket, and a great unselfish delivery by McLaughlin to Anderson, who scores his 2nd goal against Charlotte Independence this season. Olex Anderson scored a goal Wednesday. He's got another one here today and gives a high five to John Bradford as North Carolina draws first blood here to begin the second half. Anderson entered the day tied for 6th in the league in goals, 2nd in assists. One of the most well-rounded forwards in all of USL League One. The former Richmond Kickers man scores his 2nd goal of the week and will undoubtedly be in line for a Team of the Week nod come Monday. And Buyu in a wrestling match with Garcia on the far side and wins a free kick. Olex Anderson opens the scoring here immediately after the second half kickoff. Ibarra and company looking for a swift response. Good cross. Sis gets ahead to it. And it'll go out of play for a goal kick. Need support? The USL is committed to caring for the mental health of our players, fans, and communities. The Need Support campaign includes a partnership with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, a free confidential support line for anyone having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health crisis. Need support? Call or text 988. A great partnership between the league and the 988 hotline. Mental health, a very important element of sports and life in general. Now here comes Dane Kelly. Has Johnson in space. Johnson! And Ibarra's point-blank header misses the target. A glaring chance for an equalizer. And it goes begging. This is great work by Kelly. Toes the back line of the last defender well. Ball comes through a little hot for Johnson. And Ibarra just unable to square that header. Would have been a massive moment for Charlotte, who scored just once in the last 270 minutes. Ibarra still awaiting that first goal of the year. He has a couple assists to his name, is undoubtedly one of the more creative players. But as of now, that chance is what goes begging for the equalizer. Come show your support for our military members past and present at our Military Appreciation Night, presented by AccuVision LASIK on Saturday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Tickets start as low as $12 and are available at charlotteindependence.com. Charlotte Independence fans may not be most pleased with what they've seen to begin the second. were by no means second best in that first half. Definitely held their own. But after conceding the opener and missing a glaring opportunity for the equalizer in a 3-minute span, things have gone off the rails a little for an Independence side winless in its last 3. It is a Charlotte side that entered today 4th in the table, but they're playing their 10th game. Virtually everybody in the league, with the exception of North Carolina, will have a game in hand on them by the end of the week. 3 losses on the trot would not be ideal after the hot start they had to 2023, with 3 wins in their opening 4. Mike Jeffries, a terrific coach. When speaking to him about that Lexington game, he said he thought they were tired against Greenville, but it's not a fair crutch to blame fatigue. They had over a week off between games there. And now that they're getting up to full strength, he says he's expecting them to churn out a few more results. Has by no means been a bad performance today by Charlotte, and haven't quite taken their chances yet. Done well. Searches for Mbuyu, and Lou Young escorts out of play. Grab some new gear for the next Independence game. With scarves, hats, shirts, and more, we have merch for every Independence fan. Head over to store.charlotteindependence.com to find your next piece of Jack's gear.
Please help us welcome Capelli Sports.
Everybody decked out in blue today in support of their Jacks this afternoon. We've got 35 minutes to flip the script here.
For every soccer program the Charlotte Independence offers. From the USL League One men's professional team to the USL W League women's pre-professional team.
And when you look at the pedigree of this Independence squad, they've been competitive in pretty much whatever league they've competed in. They are once again here, but North Carolina charging forward, and Pack makes the terrific stop. Perez didn't quite hit as ferociously as he intended. This was a side that was a part of the USL Pro and USL Championship for the first 7 years of its existence, made 4 playoff appearances, hosted a pair of playoff games in 2020 and 2021. Last season, fell to the eventual champions Tormenza in the quarterfinals after finishing 6th for that final postseason spot on 42 points.
Hey, Jack, just a reminder, our annual Military Appreciation Night presented by AccuVisual is coming up on Saturday.
And a large part of that success is due to the credit of Mike Jeffries, who's been with the club since its inception, with the exception of about a 15-game stint in 2019. He's led this club as head coach.
And the first 500 fans get a Come On You Jack
Perez, the Frenchman.
Tickets for the match are on sale now at charlotteindependence.com.
And Mbuyu breaking the other way. Tugged down by Perez. And he'll be the first man in the book for North Carolina.
And 11 Lakes yellow card.
Yellow card presented by 11 Lakes.
11 Lakes Brewing yellow card hard seltzers on special today.
Here's another look at this. Mbuyu on the break. Perez trying to catch up. I believe they'll get him for the contact with the feet. Very minimal upper body contact. Either way, he's the first man having to walk a tightrope for the next 30 minutes. Dimmick draws the offside flag. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North Carolina's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC and the SXM app.
All through the crowd. Let's go, Jacks!
Approaching the 1 hour mark here from American Legion Memorial Stadium. Olex Anderson, the difference maker for North Carolina. Scoring the lone goal this contest in the 47th, Miguel Ibarra had a golden chance on a header a few minutes later that just skewed wide. It's been a second half that's been a little more open than the first. And Ibarra took a hand to the face from Fernandez. Center back pairings all year have fluctuated for North Carolina FC. Probably part of the reason why the defense hasn't quite been as sound as they have been going forward. David Garcia and Gustavo Fernandez, the pairing today. Navarro, who captains the side when healthy, has missed the last couple contests. Maldonado. Blanco Flores searching for Cervania. And dangled the boot in that chase. Very interesting to see what Mike Jeffries does over the course of these next 30 minutes or so. He's already made one substitute, Brad Dunwell in place of Flanagan. That was definitely intended for a more possession-based approach. Dunwell, a deep-line playmaker who's accurate with his passing, whereas Flanagan was playing out of his natural role. But as they begin to chase this one, I wonder if they opt for more attack-minded pieces. They've got Oberton on the bench. Can definitely change a game with the drop of a hat. Garcia. For the goal scorer, Anderson. First time ball for Dimmick, who's got room to roam. Johnson in space for Ibarra. Miguel Ibarra. And still Ibarra. The follow-up tapped in by Mbuyu. Charlotte level. Last season's joint top goal scorer opens his account in 2023.
This goal replay presented by AccuVision LASIK.
Great break. Joel Johnson picks out the ball expertly. Ibarra with nice patience, and the follow-up first-time hit by Tresor Mbuyu. Right place, right time. Brings Charlotte level in the Dogwood Derby.
We're all tied up now, Jacks fans.
Mbuyu is going through a quiet stretch. Mike Jeffries said he had expected a little more from him over the course of this season, and he just needed to see one fly into the back of the net to get himself going. That will certainly help matters as the goal duck finally broken by Mbuyu in his 10th appearance of the year. A guy who grew up in the Charlotte area after moving from the Democratic Republic of Congo at 13 years of age. Played his college soccer about 4 hours north in Liberty. Still with his first professional club, makes an impact.
Charlotte Independence goal scored by number 11, Faisal Mbuyu.
So there's the response, a very familiar game script to the one we saw unfolding in early April up at WakeMed. Only difference is both goals so far have come in the second half. Mbuyu, a proven goal scorer at every level he's played. 33 goals in his college career at Liberty, 11 last season. His 12th career professional goal comes at a very opportune moment. And that is Charlotte's first goal. In nearly 150 minutes of action. Have not scored since stoppage time against Greenville. Mbuyu and Garcia in a bit of a shouting match. No card shown by the official. Mbuyu clearly with the wind in his sails after that equalizer. Did clatter into the back of Garcia. I believe the decision not to show a card was probably the right one, despite the encouragement you're hearing from the NCFC fans right behind the action. Kelly. NCFC looking to flip the match on its head. Ibarra, good cross. Kelly heads it off an NCFC player, appeals for handball. No whistle from the official. Here's Ibarra. Right in the thick of the buildup that led to the equalizer. Hearing word now, NCFC going to the drawing board, a pair of substitutions. And one of them will be very familiar to USL League One fans. It'll be the leading scorer, Rafa Mensikin, who seems poised to slot up front. Ibarra. Looking through for Dimmick. And Flores Blanco wins the foot race. Raheem Summersall and Rafa Mensikin, the two players due to enter the fray for North Carolina FC. As we see our first Atlas Chiropractic substitutions for NCFC. McLaughlin will make way. Had some moments in the first half, but a pretty uneventful second. As will Louis Perez for Summersall. So given the nature of those substitutions, we should probably expect to see Mensikin up top alongside Anderson. You'll likely see Summersall slot in the midfield. You wonder if the shape changes due to the fact that he's more of a ball-winning midfielder. And that seems exactly what it's done, actually. When you need to rehydrate after a workout, run, or soccer game, trust Gatorade. Gatorade keeps the Independence game ready all the time, so they're always ready to take the field. Dimmick down the line. Low driving cross. And it's out for Charlotte Independence's first Chick-fil-A corner of the day. Took 67 minutes for the first major dead ball set piece.
This is a Chick-fil-A corner kick.
Ibarra to take the outswinger here in the 68th. Looking for Joel Johnson. Finds Spielman. Subsequent cross. Cleared only as far as Duty. And Bouillou. And Arriaga clears only as far as Dunwell. Pressure mounting for Charlotte. Duty! Looping header just misses the near post. This match has flipped on its head. Charlotte with all the momentum since the goal. Great cross in from Dimmick. Duty gets to it, clattered into Dane Kelly in the process. Just unable to keep it down. Here's Mensigan's first touch. Mensigan fresh legs as this match begins to open up. NCFC under pressure for the first time really all afternoon. Mensigan, a guy who could certainly lead a lightning quick counter. You see the shape change as well. Looks to be more of a 4-2-3-1. That is NCFC's natural formation. So by no means an unfamiliar alignment. Yellow card shown to Omar Sis, who enters the book. See here, Sis just in a tussle. Perhaps a softer yellow, according to the AccuVision LASIK instant replay. Fernandez still trying to shake off the knock. Omar Sis, such a pivotal piece for Charlotte this year. He's been starting for the Independents since he was 20 years old. Now 21, scored the goal of the year against this very NCFC team last season. And what a hit it was. He picks up his 4th yellow of the season. Here's Mensigan. Cervania. And now he's tugged down by Fabrice Ngaha. Enticing free kick right in Mensigan's range. And this one looks very intriguing for the visitors. It's Mensigan and Jaden Cervania standing over it. Mensigan towards goal, and Pack with a pair of gloves to it. Pretty routine stop for Pack, but drew him off his line. Nearly full extension. Had it covered at the near post. And Buyu loses his footing. And perhaps the visitors have weathered that recent storm of Charlotte pressure. Cervania dragged down by Ngaha. Sis actually wins a free kick. Charlotte with a pair of changes on the docket. And Gabriel Oberton, if the word we're hearing is correct, will be making his return in a matter of moments. It's Oberton and Corey Bennett in place of Joel Johnson and Miguel Ibarra. And suddenly, this Charlotte Independence lineup creeping back towards full strength with the passing of each match. Oberton's first appearance in the last 4. It'll be playmaker for playmaker and an attack-minded swap as Bennett replaces Joel Johnson. Corey Bennett missed a potential game-tying penalty last week at Lexington. Another guy looking to get off the mark scoring-wise, just 1 goal to his name after being the joint top scorer alongside Mbuyu last year. Meanwhile, for Oberton, a man who has made his trade throughout Europe, part of a Champions League winning Man United squad, Premier League winning Man United squad back in the day. Then moved to Newcastle, a regular starter for 5 years. Clay Dimmick will go into the book there on that challenge. His first caution of the season. Suddenly the temperature beginning to rise here. Flores Blanco for Rafa Mensigan. Into the final quarter of an hour here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. And it seems both sides are pushing for a winner here in the Dogwood Derby. Currently at the identical scoreline when these two teams met last month. The league leaders trying to steal all 3 points on the road. Charlotte looking for their first win in the last 4 contests. Mensigan for Arriaga. And now Summersol's first touch. Mensigan's got space. Mensigan has a dig. A little wide there. Bring the whole group out to the next Jacks game. Watch some good soccer, grab some cold drinks, and take in a match with a view of Uptown Charlotte. Email tickets at queencitysc.com or call 980-392-9170 to schedule your next group outing. Oberton settling back into the action after missing the last 3 contests. Now for Corey Bennett. Charlotte, these last 20 minutes or so, have enjoyed far more extended spells with the ball. They have not been overwhelmed by the NCFC press really to any major degree today. There was a spell in the first half where North Carolina dominated the possession. Charlotte has more than held their own and would be deserving of at least a result from this contest. An inspired display, and Tresor and Buyu helping them erase an early second half deficit. Here's Omar Sis for Dimmick. Looks for Bennett, cleared only as far as Brad Dunwell, former Detroit City man.
All right, Jacks fans, we're getting close to the end of regulation time.
Overtime,
it's time to get
Hunting and Buyu.
And show us what you got.
And out for a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Make your own schedule with our new Flex Plan ticket package. You can get tickets at a lower rate for the matches that fit your schedule just by emailing tickets@queencitysc.com or calling our ticket office at 980-392-9170.
Congratulations, you
A Chick-fil-A corner kick, the second of the match for Charlotte, and Omar Sis stands over this in-swinger. We know the kind of cannon the 21-year-old has in his boot. As there's a man down for the visitors. Potentially some cramping issues as this one wears on.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable.
It may be Christian Liu Young,
We never stop.
the fullback who was very lively in the first, dealing with some cramping, getting the magic spray on the back of his leg.
Excel at what drives you, not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Decent weather in Charlotte today, 79 degrees. You normally see cramping more as temperatures get a little warmer. But Young has played every minute so far today, and especially in the first half, was a focal point on the flanks.
When your haircut costs less. Great is when it still meets high standards. At Great Clips, you'll always get the haircut you want for less. And with our easy online check-in app, you'll save time too. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Now just set for the Chick-fil-A corner.
Chick-fil-A corner
With Ibarra
kick.
out, Omar Sis takes the in-swinger. To the heart of the area, and Corey Bennett finishes it off with his head.
For the Jets.
Both of last season's top goal scorers have spearheaded a 2-goal comeback for Charlotte Independence. And the Radford product, Bennett, with his second of the year off the bench. Corey Bennett in line to be the hero in the Dogwood Derby. Great delivery from Sis. Free header for the 25-year-old. And you take a look at the AccuVision LASIK instant replay. Corey Bennett in the 80th minute put Charlotte in front. A redemption arc for Corey Bennett after missing the potential game-tying penalty at the death in Lexington last week. Comes off the bench and scores the potential game-winning header with 10 to play. Corey Bennett and Tresor Mbuyu were two players Mike Jeffries spotlighted earlier this week as guys he expected to get going over the course of the year. Guys who just needed to see the ball go in the back of the net. Both of them have produced here in the second half. Two changes for North Carolina. Cervania and Olex Anderson vacate for Preston Pop and Shaq Adams. Attack-minded swaps with two forwards on the pitch. Preston Pop, a 23-year-old Canadian in MLS Next Pro a season ago. Looking for Summersall. And Dimmick boots clear. Pop's last two appearances have lasted a combined 10 minutes. Has taken 3 shots, none have found the target. Meanwhile, Shaq Adams, proven goal-scoring pedigree, was drafted 54th overall in the 2020 MLS Super Draft after scoring 23 goals in his Florida Gulf Coast career. Also some USL Championship experience with the Charleston Battery. Here's Mens again. Twisting through traffic. And some space for the most recent score, Corey Bennett. Charlotte looking for the potential dagger. And Oberton's chip ball a little soft. Very attack-minded approach. Adams up top, Pop and Rafa Mensigan in behind alongside Arriaga. And Summersall in that pivot role. And Mbuyu takes the contact on the edge of the area. Does not draw the ire of Servando Berna. And Pop charging the other way. The Canadian. Read very well. But cleared only as far as Nelson Flores Blanco. He has Mensigan. The USL One's top scorer. He wins a corner. And one more change on the way for North Carolina FC. This will be the final one. It'll be DJ Benton, the fullback, entering the action. More of an attack-minded fullback, whips in a lot of crosses. He replaces Christian Liu Young, who battled some cramping issues earlier. Those are all 5 changes exhausted by John Bradford. Corner comes. And Ngaha ushers out of play. Fans, this week it was just announced the new Division I Women's Professional Soccer League, the USL Super League, is coming to the Carolinas. Take part in helping us launch our team by visiting superleaguecarolinas.com. Into the final 5 minutes in this one. And as it stands, Charlotte Independence in line to complete a come-from-behind victory in the second half, with goals 20 minutes apart from last season's 2 top goal scorers. Tresor Mbuyu in the 61st, and in the 81st, Corey Bennett on a header from a corner. Currently have Charlotte in line to overcome Olex Anderson's 47th minute opener. It's been a lively Dogwood derby. The league leaders in danger of suffering their second defeat in the last 3 contests. And after a first half that felt cagier at times, both teams have taken advantage of the more open game in the second 45. 2 more changes in line for Charlotte. Looks like Dane Kelly is set to make way. Luis Alvarez will make an appearance, as will Hector Acosta, a fullback, 2 defensive swaps. It'll be Mpuyu and Kelly making way as Charlotte and Mike Jeffries begin to take a more conservative approach here in the closing stages. Substitutes presented by Paycor. You wonder how much added time will be tacked on. Dane Kelly, a yellow for time wasting, certainly won't help matters on that front for the Charlotte faithful. Kelly, a solid performance, especially in the first half. As Hector Acosta steps in.
Charlotte Independence goalkeeper Austin Tack in the 7th minute.
Venezuelan.
Congratulations.
Was an unused substitute last Saturday, tasked with helping Charlotte lock things down at home. And a giveaway by North Carolina. Corey Bennett's got one already. Now Oberton. And Dimmick will await reinforcements. It seems Charlotte has pivoted to a 3 at the back with wing backs. This can easily settle into a 5-back when they're without the ball.
Oaklore Distilling Company is number 90.
Oberton linking well with Alvarez, searching for Bennett, and the whistle comes just outside the penalty area. David Garcia, the culprit. Hearing word it's going to be 4 added minutes. As Gustavo Fernandez, the man cautioned for that recent foul. Duty standing over it, as is Clay Dimmick, a pair of defenders. Clock hits the 90. Shalom Duty into the wall. And Mensigan has space.
4 minutes of stoppage time has been
officially
shown.
4 minutes of added time separating Charlotte for their first win in the Dogwood Derby this year. Stoppage time presented by Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness. Shaq Adams, the substitute. And cleared only as far as the fullback for North Carolina. Maldonado to take this long throw. Done well, lifts it, and Oberton boots it long. And whistle, looked like Oberton was dragged down in the process.
A yellow card has been shown, an 11 late yellow card.
Yellow card given to Mensigan for that foul.
On special today for $7 a pour.
Struggled to make an impact since coming on after the equalizer. He's had a couple touches, but Charlotte's done a good job with him. They did a good job with him in the first meeting as well. It was right before Mensigan got on his red-hot April streak. Benton prevents a corner. Charlotte can run more time in the final third here. And Dimmick checking on his teammate. It's like Dunwell took a boot to the Achilles. Into the final minute of added time, as Charlotte hunts a much-needed 3 points. Maldonado searches ahead. And Blanco for Mensigan. Time for one final chance for North Carolina FC. Shaq Adams shrugged off it by Ngaha. And down the line for Corey Bennett. He's already got one today. Drives ahead. Bennett down in the area. No whistle, and Garcia picked his pocket well. Time for perhaps one final kick of the ball ahead for the visitors. That does it. Charlotte Independence secure all 3 points here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. Tresor Ambuyu and Corey Bennett complete the come-from-behind effort for the home side as they secure their first win in the last 3 matches. It looked like they were staring a third consecutive defeat in the face, but 2 key playmakers from a season ago for Charlotte come through to secure a massive 3 points in the Dogwood Derby. We're going to take a look at the play of the match presented by Paycor, and who else but Corey Bennett, the 25-year-old, after a terrific delivery from Omar Sis, gets up for the free header. No stopping that if you're Nick Holiday. Rises perfectly beyond Mensigan and nestles it in the corner of the goal. And unsurprisingly, he's also our player of the match. The man of the match presented by Adidas, Corey Bennett, the substitute. After entering the fray, he comes up massively in the 75th minute. Let's take a look at the save of the match presented by Orange Theory. This came in the first half when North Carolina had the bulk of their major chances. Austin Pack was busy in that stanza. It was a free header for McLaughlin, and he made a pretty nice quick reflex stop. Fortunately for him, that was one of the few stops he had to make tonight. A good kick save, which then keeps Charlotte level. Austin Pack with our save of the match, as Charlotte Independence securing all 3 points here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. We're going to step aside here. Corey Bennett, the hero, looking at all his supporters here at American Legion Memorial Stadium. A massive victory over the league leaders today.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Charlotte Independence celebrates a come-from-behind 2-1 victory. The final score brought to you by Chick-fil-A, and there is your hero, Corey Bennett. The game-winning header in the 81st minute makes the difference for the substitute. Let's take a look at the highlights presented by Atlas Chiropractic. In the 47th minute, Olex Anderson, one of the top attacking threats in all of USL League One, the beneficiary after the loose balls picked up by McLaughlin. A good tight window finish beyond the oncoming Austin Pack, which then put the visitors in front in the Dogwood Derby. Really impressive technique, good patience with the goalkeeper closing down. Olex Anderson's 4th of the year. Then moments later, Tresor Mbuyu comes up with the equalizer after some good individual play by Miguel Ibarra, twisting his way through traffic. Good save, but the first-time poacher's finish from the 25-year-old to level the scoring and get his account underway here for 2023. That's the goal that Charlotte Independence fans will be delighted to see, but this will delight them a little more. Corey Bennett off the sensational delivery from Omar Sis. Nestles it into the top right and gives Charlotte Independence all 3 points in the Dogwood Derby to earn their first win in the last 4. Here's your look at the final stats. A pretty even match, all things considered. A slight edge for North Carolina FC in the possession battle, but Charlotte had more possession in the second half. Shot tally favors Charlotte, but North Carolina FC put more on target. The Independents, regardless, more clinical in front of goal. Those final stats presented by Chick-fil-A. Charlotte Independence come from behind and secure all 3 points here at American Legion Memorial Stadium in the Dogwood Derby. Corey Bennett the hero as Charlotte secures all 3 points and climbs back up the table. They upset the league leaders at home with 2 playmakers from a season ago coming up clutch. The Independents come back and win it here in Charlotte.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.